Just got out of the 49ers locker room here in Nashville following the preseason opener against the Titans. We can take a little stroll around the Nissan Stadium field, tell you what I learned in the locker room after talking with the guys, and show off their new artificial turf here. Actually, not a good move. They went from natural grass to artificial turf. I guess it's cheaper. They are all building a $2.1 billion stadium next door, so they're able to afford that, but not natural grass. 49ers will hope that nobody comes back with injuries tomorrow due to the turf, but Ambry Thomas did break his forearm, so the 49ers cornerback is going to be out for a period of time. They were down 23 guys for various reasons at practice the other day before they left here to Nashville, so they're hoping to get some players back for the joint practices against the Saints on Thursday and Friday in Orange County. But first, the 49ers will fly back to the Bay Area, practice on Monday and Tuesday. In the locker room, it was cool to talk to Jordan Mason. He said that he definitely felt the little push from Dominic Puny at the end of that run, the 49ers rookie right guard, who is making a very strong case to start at right guard. So Mason, I asked him, hey, did you feel Puny? He's like, yeah, I wasn't in the end zone yet. Then somebody pushed me. He might have had a chance to look at some of the film on the sideline. Speaking of that, Kyle Shanahan did not call plays today. For the first time in his head coaching career, Shanahan let one of his assistants do it, and he said that it was the most bored that he'd ever been during a game because he wasn't thinking about the play calling chess match. It was Clint Kubiak, son of Gary Kubiak, who Shanahan initially worked for in the NFL, who was calling the plays. The 49ers thought that he did a good job, but Kyle at one point was watching tape on his tablet on the sideline. It was during that first Titans kick return. That went a long way. And as Kyle was watching the tape, the return blows by him and the officials are like, you're on the field. So Kyle Shanahan was on the field and it incurred a penalty against the 49ers. It's all fun and games because it's the first preseason game, so nobody actually cares about the penalty. Obviously, Shanahan's going to be calling the plays during the actual season. But funny twist there as he was watching film on the sideline, and maybe Jordan Mason watched the film of Dominic Puny pushing him into the end zone. Talked to Malik Mustafa as well. Mustafa, he's feeling really comfortable with the defense. I mentioned that he was directing traffic there during that one drive. Renardo Green was out of position on one play. Mustafa corrected it before the snap. Mustafa's an impressive young player out of Wake Forest, and I think that you're going to see him playing sooner rather than later. Last time I was this impressed with a safety as a rookie, just the way that he interviewed, the way that he carried himself, was Talanoa Hufanga back in 2021. And he got on the field that year, played extensively in 2021. Then he was an All-Pro in 2022. Then I moved in the locker room to go talk with, first it was Mason, then it was Malik Mustafa, then it was D. Winters. D. Winters, the linebacker. Winters, it was an up and down performance, but it was a flashy performance. There was a lot of potential shown by D. Winters. You know that, Fred Warner expected this when he said that D had the best OTAs out of any 49ers player. Initially it was right, actually, I think it was probably on that side of the field because the press box is up here. Initially, D. Winters missed a tackle on Tony Pollard. He said that he just didn't take a great angle. He would have stayed a little bit deeper. That cost the 49ers a third down stop. It was a first down conversion for the Titans in the red zone. And then D tried to make up for it with a nice big hit on Will Levis. So that got the juices flowing. Remember, it was the Titans' first team offense against the 49ers' second team defense. So San Francisco decided not to play the starters except for a couple that they had to play. And the Tennessee Titans went for it there in the first couple series. So you had D. Winters, the young linebacker, get a shot at the opposing starting quarterback. And boy, he laid the wood on that play. Later on, he had a nice tackle for loss where D told me he saw both guards pulling, and he's like, well, I'm not going to have any part of this. And he just beat the guards to the spot, crashed into the backfield for the TFL. I thought that there were a couple plays in coverage where he got beat or took a bad angle. There was a crosser that Tennessee threw that to a receiver that D. Winters just wasn't in great angular position on. All stuff that the 49ers will clean up, even especially the tackling thing. And that was the Calvin Ridley, by the way. That was the starting receiver for the Titans working against D. Winters. So this is all kind of trial by fire stuff. This is great that the 49ers have him working against first team competition. I think that from a developmental standpoint, for a lot of these 49ers players, Dominic Puny, D. Winters, Malik Mustafa, the fact that Tennessee was running a string ahead of the 49ers, running first-string guys early in the game, could have given very valuable reps. I mean, you heard Malik Mustafa talking about it in the locker room, saying this is full-speed NFL action with some of the players the Titans were playing there. That could be tremendously valuable. And I think D. Winters can really benefit from that as he vies for maybe not only the number 3 linebacker spot, but maybe even the number 2 linebacker spot while Dre Greenlaw is out. That might take a little bit of time, and we'll see when Greenlaw comes back. But Winters popped in a way that I thought was notable today. The way that he was really out there flashing. I mean, I know that he wears the 53, and people are going to talk about Bowman, but the big hit on Levis, the ground that he covered, the tackle for loss, those were all very, very notable plays that you like to see. They're upside kind of plays that you like to see if you are the 49ers. Dominic Puny looked very comfortable. The first team offensive line was Chris Hubbard on the left side, left tackle. He actually played for the Titans. You can see they got the wall here. Tighten up on the wall. Tennessee tough actually on the wall. Tighten up is their other slogan. But Hubbard played for the Titans last year. We saw Daniel Brunskill, the former 49er, today playing some center for the Tennessee Titans. It was Brunskill that recommended Hubbard to San Francisco. I thought the first team offensive line for the 49ers was fine, by the way. I think that those guys held up well in pass protection. The very first play of the game, Aaron Banks did not pick up his assignment for whatever reason. But after that, everything was A-OK for San Francisco. After that, Brandon Allen, the quarterback, he hung in there on 3rd and 9 around the good pocket and found Ronnie Bell for a big first down. That was a pickup of 21. And then obviously Jordan Mason, the Nashville native, rumbled into the end zone with Puny pushing him in. So that was the only drive that we got to see the 49ers line of Hubbard, Aaron Banks, Nick Zakel, because Jake Brendel's out with a knee tendonitis, or at least missed this game with a knee tendonitis as he load manages. Dominic Puny at right guard and Colton McKivitz at right tackle. That was the only drive that we got to see all of those guys together because they pulled Banks after that point, but I thought that it wasn't a bad start for the 49ers O-line against the first team Tennessee Titans defensive line. As far as defensive players down the stretch, I thought Kalia Davis looked explosive. Then at that point, the Titans had already put their backups in, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. We'll look a little bit further into it, but out of the defenders, I already mentioned Mustafa, Winters, Kalia Davis. I think those are my arrow up guys. Obviously, arrow down for Ambry Thomas. He committed a holding penalty on the big hit from Winters against Levis that actually extended that drive, so it nullified the Winters hit, and then Ambry broke his forearm. Thought Jalen Graham got beaten a couple times in coverage today, and I didn't see all too many wins, although I'm going to verify this when I watch the tape by Robert Beal Jr. I think the 49ers probably would like to see a little bit more of a productive opener from him. Offensively, I mean, the quarterbacks were both really good. I thought that you saw tremendous stuff from Brandon Allen. Could have easily been 9 of 13 for 170, but there were 2 drops by Ronnie Bell and a drop on a dive, but it was still a really good pass to Tay Martin. So I thought Brandon Allen looked in command. And then I saw some real physicality from Josh Dobbs. Not just the helicopter diving touchdown. That was awesome. He shook off a pass rusher on that play too. But he threw some good deep outs in this game today. You know who else looked good was Trent Taylor in that new kickoff rule. Kyle Shanahan said, by the way, they gave up the long kickoff return. They didn't see much success on kickoff returns of their own, but I don't think they're going to be running Ronnie Bell and Trent Taylor on that kick return. I don't think Ronnie Bell's going to be the lead blocker on a kick return at 190 pounds. I think you're probably going to see Kyle Juszczyk in that role, and when you see Juszczyk in that role, probably be a more positive play for the 49ers, especially if he's paving the way for Deebo Samuel. Shanahan said that today was just data collection for the 49ers. They have what they did on tape, and the rest of the league has its tape, and the 49ers are going to watch all of the tape now and really formulate their strategy at kick return over the course of the next month. And that's the big thing right now. It's August 10th. Season openers on September 10th. Monday Night Football, the Jets are going to be coming to Levi Stadium, so the 49ers have a whole month to formulate their kick return and kickoff coverage strategy. I think that they're going to be cautioned by the game tape that the kicker is going to be involved in this. Because Jake Moody, he missed a tackle that was very consequential on that first Tennessee kick return. That was not like a last line of defense tackle. So if anything, the 49ers saw their kicker as a very, very involved tackler or would-be tackler on that first return. That's something they're going to have to account for on tape as they devise their kick return strategy. All right, well, Kyle Shanahan said it was the most boring game he's ever been part of. I didn't think it was that boring. I think that you saw the ending, the Hail Mary ending. So there was some excitement for the fans here. But I know what Kyle Shanahan meant. It's week 1 of the preseason. Nobody really cares about the result. And he couldn't even call plays today because he delegated that to Clint Kubiak. So he'll probably be more excited. Next week, we're headed back to San Francisco, and then we're going to Irvine. There's a lot of flying the next few days. And then the Saints and the Niners will both fly back up the Pacific Coast for a preseason game next week. We'll see you guys soon. And a quick correction, actually Clay Kubiak, not Clint Kubiak, I misspoke during that video, was calling the plays for the 49ers instead of Kyle Shanahan. 49ers actually lost Clint Kubiak to the New Orleans Saints this offseason. They had both brothers before, but now it's just Clay on the 49ers coaching staff, and he was the one calling the plays. All right, that's the correction. Everybody, good night.